Oh, okay.
Is it still me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
According to
All right, Ms. Campbell.
Okay. We'll call the meeting to order. It's about 3 minutes after 9 o'clock. And here are some opening remarks for the general public that are going to be watching this on streaming and maybe for the newspaper report. We've got 4 bullets to cover. Because of the COVID-19 crisis and based upon guidance by the Centers for Disease Control in the state of Florida, the school board is making the following temporary modifications to the school board meetings to protect the health and safety of the public and employees of the school district. 1, the school board meeting room will be limited to the school board employees. The public may watch the school board meeting in the lobby on the video monitor. If more than 10 members of the public attend, then additional video monitors will be placed for public viewing with proper separation. Staff will stay in their offices and will only be called to the boardroom if necessary. Next, all future meetings will be moved to 5 p.m. There will be only one opportunity for public comment at the beginning of the meeting, which can be on any agenda item or just general public comment. If a member of the public wishes to make a comment, they can submit a green card at the meeting and will be allowed into the boardroom to address the board. Any public comment will be strictly limited to the 3-minute time limit. Finally, the school board is sorry for any inconvenience that this may cause. However, the safety of the public and school board employees is of the utmost importance. As such, we will be conducting all future meetings in this manner to comply with the Florida law until such time as the COVID-19 crisis is over. And for this meeting, our opening exercise is by Mr. Kennedy.
We just rise. And if we would just take a moment to have a private moment of silence for the needs of our community. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
We need to, first order of business is the adoption of the agenda as recommended by Superintendent Kimball.
I move to adopt the agenda as recommended by Superintendent Kimball.
Second.
I have a motion by Mrs. Powers, a second by Mr. Kennedy, to approve the adoption as recommended by Superintendent Kimball. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Citizens' comments reserved for any comments? No?
None.
None. No citizens' comments, no green cards. Attorney legal matters. We're here to the adoption of policy 3.231, COVD emergency powers. Mr. Bradshaw?
So, because of the virus, the COVID-19 virus, and because of the time gap that occurs between the regular school board meetings of the board, we drafted the COVID-19 emergency powers, which basically gives the superintendent the authority to enter into contracts and run the school district kind of, because of the time gaps that go between meetings. Of significance in this is that part of the policy is that she has to advise the school board prior to or soon thereafter before she does something. And also, by law, the duration of the policy can only be for 90 days. So hopefully this kind of bridges the gap. There are certain things that come up with procurements, with signing teacher contracts, for next year, for all kinds of things like that, for a meeting once a month, sometimes that'll be 4 weeks apart, sometimes it's 5 weeks apart, depending on when the second Tuesday of the month falls. So that's the rationale behind drafting a policy that the board's going to delegate these authorities to the superintendent to kind of maintain a smooth operation of the school district, in the big gaps between the meetings, because I'm assuming we're not having meetings every 2 weeks, which is sometimes created a problem that was easily manageable, but with that big of a gap, it does create problems. I know there's already been some issues where, trying to get things done for distance learnings and things like that, that staff, the superintendent to sign them, so that's the rationale.
This document was published in our board docs. Any discussion?
Move to approve the adoption of policy 3.231 and the COVID-19 emergency powers.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Kennedy, a second by Mrs. Powers to approve the policy 3.231, COVID-19 emergency powers. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 4-0. I said 5-0 before, didn't I? Mrs. Bryant is not with us.
That's all
Is there anything else to come before the board? This time?
Or B, item B.
Now, item B is there's a written, when you do an emergency policy, there's a written statement that has to go along with it that has to be published.
Oh, okay.
And it's basically informing the public of why you're entering into an emergency policy. And so to comply with, it's 120.54 something.
That's good.
You know, that you have to say this is why, and so it kind of outlined why we were doing this, and it's all because of the executive orders that are coming out of the governor's office. It's in the COVID-19 crisis that's going on, the separation of people, and, you know, the orders, only, originally started out only an emergency meeting, and then they went to video, and so all this, so that's why we have to have a written statement to go along with it. I don't believe you have to approve the written statement.
Thank you, sir.
Would you like us to do it?
You can do it, it doesn't matter.
Okay, well, let's call for a motion to approve the written statement pursuant to FS 120.544A regarding emergency adoption of school board policy 3.231.
I'll make a motion that we approve this written statement.
Motion by
Second.
God, second by Mrs. Powers. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. And opposed? None. 4-0. Any other business to come before the board?
Just I want to lift out food service, transportation, blessings. We had some amazing comments that were said yesterday about how children are getting fed, how supplies are getting through, and this doesn't happen by accident. Superintendent, your staff, the way you've coordinated, food service, Roy Pistone and his team, transportation with Miss Farmer, then coordinating with Blessings and the foundation to make sure that not just they're fed today, but they're fed in the evenings, on the weekends. The maintenance staff, the facility staff, I don't know if you've seen, but they are all over the schools. They have jumped on this opportunity. Just want to lift out, we are so grateful for the things they're doing to make use of this time in other ways. Our technology staff is off the hook. They are the rock stars right now. They are not sleeping. They're not seeing their families. They are here in this room to make sure that the public sees what we're doing. Grateful to them. Superintendent, thank you for keeping us informed. God bless you.
I too would like to just compliment the district on the work that's being done. And we've got to be flexible, and we're encouraging parents to be flexible with us, but everything I've heard so far is going quite well. And I expect that to continue, but technology advancement, I think the fact that we've had the 1-1 initiative, we've had the devices to the students, has been a great has been a great help to us, right? And we're not facing that issue a lot of districts face with just getting devices to children. So we've been ahead of the curve on that. It's a great thing to point out. And I would, and I talked to the superintendent yesterday a little bit, and then the call went out last night. We talked before the meeting or the conference call, so a lot of things had happened with the extending of the online through April 30th. But I would like a little update, just a brief one, if you could. I mean, I think if we're here, we might as well just get up to date on what's happening. But I did want to have some reassurance on the issue with our graduating seniors and what's going to be happening for them going forward, what we kind of envision this. Like you said, everything's changing. So what we see now may not be the same thing we see tomorrow. But I'm just curious on how that's working right now. And I thought it might be good for us to do an update.
I'll go ahead and give you the update on some other things too while I'm up here. As for our graduating seniors, of course, that's been a big discussion across the state, and as you know, FSA and everything's been canceled, and our students will graduate. And I know there's a big discussion right now with Florida high school activities, if students will be allowed to have an extra year of eligibility. And I mean, there's all, and you're right, things change instantly. We were on the phone call with you all yesterday at 3:30 and 4 o'clock. At 4:30, I get on a conference call with the Commissioner of Education. He informs us that they will suspend school through May 1st. He did ask us, by the time we got off the call, not to share that until they were able to share that statewide. They like to do that. And out of respect to him, we didn't send our message out till 6:30, although there was another district that went right online to do that. So I apologize for not doing that first, but he did ask us to keep that until they were able to do that. So as you know, May 1st, our continuity plan will be able to be expanded or extended through then. We will know more on Friday of any bumps and bruises that we've had with that plan. We have a conference call with our principals every day. We're taking questions from them, comments, thoughts, things that we need to do a little bit better. I know Dr. Hebert and his Ed Services team is in constant contact with the schools. And again, everything's changing. We handed out almost 3,000 meals yesterday, and they said the response from parents was amazing on, whether it's supplies or that. And I know Mr. Bishop organized a meeting, you mentioned Blessings, with Blessings and their staff, so that we were able to take the food out on Thursday afternoons and also hand out food from Blessings. So we might have, we will have a little bit better update, and we might be able to give you all a call towards the end of the week, where we can let you know if we've had to change anything in the plan, anything that's changed statewide. We're on a scheduled conference call with the state every day at 4, but that doesn't happen every day. If they don't have any new updates, then they cancel the call. So we will keep you informed with that. We are, our teachers are home. We just need to pray for our teachers, our parents, because this is something that a lot of them they don't feel comfortable with, but they're getting there because of the technology department going through and training them and doing training after training, online training and those types of things, so that they are able to deliver the instruction. We're meeting today, or Mr. Bishop's meeting with student services to find out how many of our students are not able to either come to a bus stop to receive their packets. Parents may not be able to get to the school to receive their packets, so we're working with them to find a way that we can maybe deliver them to their home. So, but in the meantime, we're still very, the safety of our staff is our #1 priority, so we're making sure that we honor the CDC guidelines. So as the senior piece comes up, we will keep you informed on that as they change things with its ACT, SAT, enrollment through colleges and those types of things. But here's the good news. The entire state of Florida, in fact, the entire nation's in the same predicament that we are. Every college is in the same, so I think things that were rules or black and white before won't be that way by the end of the school year. So we will know more about when schools will be extended to stay out of session, probably within a couple weeks, because they're trying to do this in 2-week increments. As you know, yesterday the governor was in Miami and Fort Lauderdale, and he's put a recommendations in Miami for mid-May for restrictions on things that they can do. So we will keep you informed. If I've got to call you every day, we'll call you every day. We don't mind, and we'll make sure we keep you informed as we do our staff through emails and things like that. Okay.
That's one thing that's so amazing to me, with all of y'all, the administrative team, and everyone's working on, that you anticipate the problems, get in there and start solving before they ever surface. So you're always ahead of the game, and it's very professional. People know what they're doing, and I think all of us should be so very proud of the school system. Thank you very much for your leadership.
And the support of the board too. We sent our plan out to you all before we sent it to our teachers. We received feedback, so we appreciate that also, because you all are out in the public eye, maybe not as much as you used to be, but they do know how to contact you all, and they expect you all to give answers when they call you too. So anytime you all have questions or thoughts that you can't answer, just for a phone call. Okay. Anything else?
Well, I will tell you, we've gone to state meetings and I've always driven back home to Citrus County and said, I'm so proud to work for this
this particular school board, and this, I read every page of that protocol. I can't believe that you put that package together, and it made it a lot easier. I have a daughter who teaches in a middle school in this county, and everything was fine at her school yesterday, and they're on go. They're probably already into their lessons with their kids already this morning, so.
I have told administrators at the district and at the school that they can work 4 10-hour days, and they would rotate Monday through Friday, because we want to make sure that our departments and our schools are open 7 to 5. That might make it a little bit easier for parents to be able to contact the schools. So every department and every school will be open from 7 to 5 till we get through this. Now, some have chosen to come in at 7 and the rest of their staff comes in at 8 or 9 to hold it open. Some have chosen to work Monday through Thursday, Tuesday through Friday. Some of the support staff says, I want to work every day. Some administrators said, I'll work the 8-hour every day. So just to let you all know that our schools will be open and the district will be open from 7 to 5. Somebody will be manning something. Okay?
That's the reason that you like the speech.
Thank you.
Yes.
Madam Chair, before you close the meeting, I just wanted to get a little direction on our next meeting and what we foresee how that's going to take.
Right now, unless anything changes, we'll meet April 14th at 5 o'clock
In this same format.
In the same format.
And just the reason for 5 is because we always have public comment shortly after 5, and we need to have a time served pursuant to our policy. And so that way, if you do it at 5, you know, it allows the public, if they want to attend and public comment. That's why it was moved from 4 to 5.
And we should expect our agenda on our weekly,
Same
everything's
as.
time. Okay.
Everything will be same as.
I did that posed a question to me. Can public comment come in telephonically?
Not right now,
Okay,
so not the way we have it set up, right?
okay. Comes to lobby.
Yeah, well, it's set up to where that, you know, we can have at least 10 people there, more than 10 people show up, we'll put up another monitor somewhere else and, you know, keep everyone properly separated. And they can fill out a green card and walk in here and say their piece and.
But Madam Chair, I think anyone in the public we'd encourage that if you have a question,
yes.
email us, and one of us will
Yeah.
be more than happy to bring that question up.
It's
Yeah.
just not accepting public comment like this in front of the board. I mean,
Right.
obviously, I think with public emails, you and the superintendent and everything else, you know, all the time anyhow. So it's
Right.
not restricting the public's access to be able to ask questions. It's just the formality, the legal formality of having your statutory public comment is still needs to be done like that.
And as items come up on the agenda, we can still have that staff member come to the podium, and they'll come in at the
Correct.
time that their items on the agenda. So it'll
And
look
Superintendent,
similar
I don't
without
have a problem if you need to keep staff in their, their offices and they can phone it in. If,
Yeah.
through that, if we need,
Right.
meaning we don't have to fill the room with staff
Right,
members if
we
needed.
agree.
So also our administrative hearing, we expect to have one of those prior to the 5 o'clock meeting.
I think these aren't their expulsions.
We have one that, it's been stipulated, so,
I mean, I know the other districts have put those like on consent agendas, because it's just the case number and, and so I can discuss that with the superintendent, or we can have, a 5-minute or however long, 10-minute administrative hearing. We can start it at 5 or maybe 4:45 or something like that to do it fast.
There's one, and it has been stipulated, so, I
Right.
mean, it's nothing more than hearing it.
Right, so we do, and I can present it if need be. Well, can you wait till after the meeting?
She's on her knees.
But I'll probably ask Ms. Humbaugh if it's only one, that I'll just present real quick, so that she doesn't have to drive all the way here for that, unless there's other things that she needs.
And the one they're referring to, it was 2 non-weeks at Renaissance. I gave them the authority to go ahead and let that student begin their instruction at Renaissance, like they're doing with the online, knowing that we were gonna bring that to you all with because I didn't feel like that they should be out tomorrow. since it's all online.
And just for
We can
those,
check-
anyone interested, the superintendent has, I believe, the authority to assign a student to any
Correct.
school anyway, so
Right,
Yes.
so that will.
it's within your policy and
Right.
and statutory authority.
And I
She
think
just
you
didn't
all
want
the
to
ones
stop,
that tell
didn't
us.
want to
Right, you went back.
prevent them, no, didn't want to prevent them from learning
Right.
between now and April.
Right,
So,
Right.
perfect,
good decision.
all right.
And you're all usually the ones that say, why are they absent?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And please call me with any questions that I can.
The new word is, I've learned the new electronic word soon. Never heard of that before, but I think just flexibility. And we take our direction from Washington and the Tallahassee, and we'll do our best for what's good for the kids and our teachers.
There's no playbook for this.
Yes.
And, I mean, our teachers have been very flexible too, right? So,
Yes.
I mean, we've got to be very thankful for their, efforts and what's going on, because it's new territory for them. But, if we're all flexible, like you said, Ms. Council, teachers, parents, we're gonna work through this and we'll come out on top. And, when I brought up the seniors, I know there's some, questions, rightfully so. And I know that we've talked behind the scenes a little bit about things, and it's tough to come into a public meeting and try to call shots that we don't know how they're gonna come, what's gonna happen. We don't know, we don't have a crystal ball. But I think we all wanna see graduation take place, a commencement exercise, all those things, and, those are, even the other senior events, the proms, all those things, it's very important to us.
I'm not so certain about the prom, but I think we can probably put our heads together and do something about a graduation. And that reminds me too that Schoolhouse Hustle is this Saturday, and if you join, you have to do it electronically yourself, and it'll be posted, because I'm gonna walk with my daughter, but I'm walking down around the airport. But, so, maybe even something like that, where the kids can not gather, but one at a time, just,
Well, I know when I've talked to the superintendent, I mean, they're working on that. I mean, these
Yeah.
things are, I'm not gonna get into the details of what I think, but
Yeah.
those are our events for our seniors and all the things, grad night, I mean, Disney World's closed and all
Yeah.
the parks are closed, so, there's gonna be a lot of sacrifices, but I think I want the message to be that we are aware of those concerns and we want to do as much as we can to make sure that those graduating seniors have that experience.
absolutely.
Because our seniors live for senior year.
Yes, they do, absolutely.
And as you all know, in our call out last night, that we canceled all the events between up to April 30th or May 1st. Christopher High School prom was May 2nd. We've asked Ms. Tuggle to see if she can move that to later in May until we get further corrections. I think the other ones one was on the 16th, and don't be on exact, and one was on the 23rd. So we're waiting to get more direction to see what happens. Miracles do happen.
You never know.
So we
My
know
daughter was
that.
very appreciative that you did that, Ms. Hemmel, as her prom dress came in, so. We are all still hoping, and that's why I love that you're pushing off rather than just
So we're gonna
suspending.
postpone as much as we can rather than cancel, but
Mhm.
we know that question's out there. And you're right, grad night, grad bash, Disney World, it's closed.
Flexible.
Yep,
And you know what, you used the word flexible, and those were the two words that was one of them, the two words that our Commissioner of Education has used over and over and over, be flexible and compassionate. Because we've got students out there that may not have the resources to get to where we are, but we're gonna do everything in our power to get what we need to get to them, so.
Anything else? Okay, nothing else before the board, the meeting will stand adjourned.
Thank you all.
Thank you all for coming.